welcome to the Movie Club, and this week we're going to be talking about Encanto.
Encanto is the newest movie from the Pixar Disney studio monster.
Welcome to the next earworm from the same guys that brought you Frozen's Let It Go.
Many years ago, this candle blessed our family with a miracle. Our house, our casita, came to life with magic.
Rehana, do you want to explain to our viewers what Encanto is all about?
Oh, this is going to be fun. So, Encanto is about Mirabel Madrigal, who is the least magical member of the Madrigal family, who happens to discover that something terrible is about to happen to their magical house.
That's right, their magical house that is in Colombia in some point over the last 100 years. It's not entirely clear where in history the magical house exists, but it is a magical place.
And it's pretty great. It draws from a lot of Colombian culture, which is probably the strongest element of this movie. I mean, the music, the animation, the style, the color, everything screams Colombia. And I think they've done a really, really good job of, bringing forth that wonderful culture.
I'm not super strong like Luisa.
The donkeys got out again.
On it! Or effortlessly perfect like Señorita Perfecta Isabella.
Did you enjoy...
Let's see, I would say I enjoyed bits of it. I thought the animation was really well done. I'm a sucker for well-produced animation, and I thought that the finer points of this were really, really nicely done. I thought some of the music was nice. I thought some of it was incredibly laboured, but again, we'll come back around to that. But look, overall, I thought it was, if I had to rank it among, it's always that ranking Pixar thing, it wouldn't even be in the top 20.
Oh, definitely not. And, I'm trying really, really hard to talk about the positives, because this is a movie I think you should see, because visually it's just stunning. But when it comes to story, characterization, and just the flow of the story itself, I had a really hard time getting through the entire thing. Even the message behind it, like, of course, every Disney movie has to have some sort of moral message, was not a good one.
Why am I the only one that didn't get a gift? You're just as special as anyone else in this family. You just healed my hand with an arepa con queso.
No, I don't think you could probably come out of this with a positive message unless I entirely miss the point of it, because it does seem to be that unless you are blessed by some higher power with magic, then you're not worth anyone's time.
Yeah, I guess that's not meant to be the message of the story, right? I mean, everybody has a magical power, and the one that doesn't have the magical power is actually the one holding the entire family together. Where this falls flat is in the characters of, say, the grandmother. I mean, she's presented as a matriarch of this family. She's obviously suffered through a lot of trauma, which she's projecting onto her offspring. And, you come to realize that this story is almost a redemption story for her, whereas she hasn't really been made to suffer. It's Mirabel that has to essentially suffer and do this hero's journey to get to the end, whereas the grandma, she kind of gets away scot-free.
Although it's interesting, I have heard the theory now that the grandma is the villain of the movie, because the way that Disney Pixar are doing their movies now is there's no ostensible outright villain in there. It's just the person within your family that maybe doesn't see the magic within you. And look, that really is, I think, probably the cliche of this movie. It's we all need to find the magic within us, and it's just like, ooh, yeah, stretched out over 100 odd minutes, that can be a little twee.
That's it. I mean, did you enjoy the music at least?
I enjoyed one song, and I'm going to call it now. It is the most catchy song since Let It Go, and it is We Don't Talk About Bruno. Oh. But I must say the rest of the music did suffer a little bit from being too much Lin-Manuel Miranda for my taste.
Which is a bit disappointing. I mean, we all enjoyed Hamilton. I sort of assumed that, the show tunes that you brought to this particular movie would be a lot catchier. I mean, we did have that one very catchy one, but the rest of the music was not enjoyable.
No, they do unfortunately feel a little bit like Hamilton offcuts, and perhaps that is just the style of song that Lin-Manuel writes. And look, full respect to the dude here. He has had an amazing trajectory, but just there was something lacking, I think, in the life of the songs, with the exception of Bruno, of course, and it just really felt a little bit half-assed.
Oh, totally. And I think that all feeds into that, again, the central morality of the story is such a hard one to prop up in the first place. The music does very little to make it any better. But back to the characters. Did you have any characters that you really enjoyed?
I really enjoyed Bruno, funnily enough.
Yeah,
the weird brother who is, let's say, observing the family from a position slightly removed, but look, great actor. Look, I would say great character. An actor who traditionally I haven't really loved in John Leguizamo. I often find his performances wildly grating. But in this movie, I think it fit because every performance was scenery chewing over the top.
Totally. I mean, I agree. Bruno was also my favorite character, and it's just because the rest of them were a little bit contrived. Like, everyone seemed to fill a very particular niche. None of the characters to me felt fully fleshed out. We had that younger sister who was quite strong, talking about being under pressure from the rest of the family, whereas I feel like that song more belonged to the older sister, the one that needed to be perfect, right? So I think as far as characterization go, Mirabelle is lovely. She's obviously us. I mean, she's taking us through this magical world. But nearly everybody else was either flat, one-dimensional, or downright evil. Like, I still have it out for the grandma. She essentially...
Abuela, whose name apparently is Abuela, if you look at the door with her name on it. But yeah, look, there is a lot of very shallow characters in there. And look, I've just realised, looking around, that, you know, you identifying with Mirabella is not really surprising because you're almost a dead ringer of Mirabella.
Cosplay idea, got it.
But look, I mean, there are things to recommend this movie. The animals are cute as hell, and I can't believe it took this long for an animator to realise that capybaras are the cutest big rats in the world.
Let me help you. The rats told me everything. Don't eat those.
Absolutely. But you know what? This movie is definitely going to be enjoyable by all the children everywhere. They're going to be asking for that Bruno song all the time. You're going to be hearing it in shopping centres, so you might as well just get it over with. Watch the movie. Enjoy it for what it is. I don't think it's one of those movies people are going to go back to very often.
No, really, you know, put it on, enjoy the song, set and forget. It is a moment in time that will keep your children amused for about 97 minutes.
And really, that's all the time you need. Thank you for joining us this week. Really exciting to be back in the studio again, and we'll see you next week.